What's good, financial disaster enthusiasts? Welcome back to RG Unfiltered, the only royal podcast where we analyze terrible business decisions with the expertise of someone who's watched his inheritance disappear in real time. Today's episode is brought to you by Skillshare, because unlike my parents, you can actually learn from your mistakes. Use code BROKEROYAL for 2 months free, which is ironically longer than most of my parents' business ventures lasted. So buckle up, because today we're ranking my parents' greatest business failures from surprisingly okay to how did anyone give you money for this? I've got spreadsheets, I've got receipts, and I've got the emotional damage to prove I lived through all of these disasters. Let's start with the scoring system. We're rating on innovation, execution, longevity, and most importantly, how much money they burned through before giving up. Tier 1, surprisingly okay. Still failures, but like functional failures. Netflix deal, initial phase. Look, I hate to admit this, but the Netflix deal actually started okay. They got paid millions up front just for being themselves, which honestly, that's kind of genius in a dystopian way. The problem wasn't the concept, it was everything they did with it afterward. But getting someone to pay you $100 million for your trauma? That's actually impressive business, even if it destroyed our family relationships. Score 610. Points for securing the bag. Minus points for everything else. Spotify deal. The signing again. Getting Spotify to throw millions at you for a podcast about... What was it about again? Oh right, archetypes. Whatever those are. Mom basically convinced Spotify executives that her talking about herself for 12 episodes would revolutionize audio content. And they believed her. That takes serious sales skills, even if the product was complete garbage. Score, gave 10, great pitch, terrible follow-through. Tier 2, well that was predictable. The children's book, The Bench. Oh, The Bench. Mom's literary masterpiece about father-son relationships, which is ironic considering Dad's relationship with his own father was, let's call it complicated. Here's the thing, it actually sold some copies. Mostly because people were curious what a duchess's children's book would be like, but still, sales are sales. The problem was it read like a greeting card that got stretched into 40 pages. But hey, at least it was actually a real product you could hold, unlike most of their ventures. Score 410, points for being an actual thing, minus points for being boring. Part of Invictus Dad's documentary about wounded veterans playing sports. Actually sounds meaningful, right? Here's the issue. It was basically just Dad talking about his feelings while occasionally showing some athletes. It was supposed to be about the veterans. Somehow Dad made it about his own journey of healing. Because of course he did. Score 4/10. Good intentions, bad execution. Classic Dad move. Tier 3, what were they thinking? Archewell Foundation, our family foundation, named after me. How sweet. Too bad nobody can figure out what it actually does. They raised millions in donations and then gave out some grants? Had some meetings? The website is beautiful but vague, which pretty much sums up all their business ventures. It's like they thought foundation was just a fancy word for a place to put money until we figure out what to do with it. Score 3/10. Great branding, unclear purpose, very on brand for them. Pearl, Netflix animated series. Mom was going to create an animated series about a 12-year-old girl inspired by influential women throughout history. Actually sounds pretty cool, right? Netflix canceled it before a single episode was made. For one episode. Do you know how bad your pitch has to be for Netflix to cancel an animated show in development? Netflix greenlights shows about people organizing their closets. Score 210. Minus points for existing only in theory. Tier 4. Actively embarrassing Lemonada Media Partnership. Mom signed with this podcast company to create the content that elevates and celebrates the voices of women. Translation, more podcasts about her feelings, but with better production values. The partnership lasted about as long as Mom's attention span and someone else is talking. Which is to say, not very long. Score to attend. Another podcast dream dies. 40/40 Mentorship Initiative. For Mom's 40th birthday, she launched a mentorship program where 40 people would commit 40 minutes to mentoring women re-entering the workforce. Sounds nice. Too bad literally no one knew what they were supposed to do or how it worked. It was like a pyramid scheme, but for good intentions and no money. The website still exists, but I'm pretty sure it's just there to make us look busy. Score 210. Good math, terrible execution. Tier 5. Weapons grade cringe. Spotify podcast. Archetypes. The boy. Here we go. Mom's podcast, where she interviewed successful women about stereotypes while somehow making every conversation about her own experiences. She interviewed Serena Williams and spent half the time talking about her own athletic struggles. Mom, you played tennis recreationally. The podcast got canceled after one season because apparently even Spotify executives have limits to how much narcissism they can handle. Score 110. At least it existed briefly. The TIG revival attempts. Before she was a royal, Mom had a lifestyle blog called The TIG. After leaving royal life, there were rumors she wanted to restart it. Thank God she didn't, because imagine Mom giving lifestyle advice while living in a mansion and complaining about her problems. Today's post: how to find inner peace when you have unlimited money, but people are mean to you on Twitter. Score 110. Points deducted for even considering it. Tier 6. Dear God, make it stop. American Riviera Orchard. Here it is, folks. The crown jewel of business disasters. Mom's lifestyle brand that sells what exactly? Jam? Dog treats? The meaning of life? The Instagram account has 500,000 followers and 0 actual products. It's been coming soon for so long that I'm starting to think it's a social experiment in how long you can build hype for literally nothing. They sent jam to celebrities and influencers as a marketing stunt. Jam, people. $12 jam. That you can't even buy because the website doesn't work and there's no store. It's like they saw Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop and thought, we can do that, but with less self-awareness and more delusions of grandeur. Score 0010. This isn't even a business. It's performance art. The Herald special mention tags various projects. Dad doesn't really start businesses so much as he just announces things and then forgets about them. Remember when he was going to be a Silicon Valley tech bro? Or when he was going to revolutionize mental health? Or when he was going to save journalism? Dad treats business ventures like New Year's resolutions. Great intentions, no follow-through, forgotten by February. Score 10, can't rate what doesn't exist. The pattern, you know what I've realized going through all this. My parents don't actually want to run businesses. They want to be seen as people who run businesses. They love the announcement days, the press releases, the interviews about their vision, the fancy websites with mission statements. The actual work part? The part where you have to make products and serve customers and deal with logistics? That's when they lose interest and move on to the next shiny announcement. The real cost. Want to know the really depressing part? All these failed ventures cost more than most people make in their entire lives. The consultants, the websites, the PR campaigns, the legal fees. It adds up. And that's my inheritance they're burning through. Every failed jam company is another few £1,000s I'll never see. Every canceled Netflix series is a royal palace I'll never inherit. My cousins are going to inherit centuries of British history, and I'm going to inherit debt from a lifestyle brand that never actually sold anything. The silver lining, but here's the thing. At least these failures are entertaining. My parents might be terrible at business, but they're amazing at providing content for reaction videos. Every time they announce a new venture, I know I've got material for at least 3 episodes. They're like a content creation machine, except instead of making content, they're just providing endless material for other people to make fun of. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for being so consistently bad at business that you've accidentally given me a career in commentary. Next week, we're diving into why my parents' friends are all employees. Exploring the weird world of celebrities who pay people to be their social circle. Spoiler alert, when your assistant is also your best friend, you might want to reconsider your relationship choices. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And unlike American Riviera Orchard, this channel actually delivers content on schedule. Just like Master the Blue Chai delivers on flavor. Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring today's episode. Remember, it's never too late to learn new skills. Just ask my parents, who are still figuring out how to run a business in their 40s. Peace out, Montecito. I'm going to go calculate how much of my inheritance is left after this quarter's business disasters.